And now some words from our sponsor. Flap, pustule, jowls, nugget, gurgle, smear, curd, bulbous, tender, dongle, pork, moist. Whether you're a construction worker, warehouse worker, or frankly a radio host, if you hear certain words on the job site, work can be uncomfortable. So at least get work gear that's comfortable. Timberland Pro work shirts, pants, and boots. Head to toe. Timberland Pro, not uncomfortable.
Great news. There's a quick way you can save money. Switch to Geico. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price. And it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save.
This is the best of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
We blew it. We blew it yesterday. Barstool beat us to an idea. We should have been with Dollar Shave Club doing some sort of spoof of the show from a barber shop. We blew it.
Yeah.
Because Nick Saban and LeBron James, at the height of the sports fame ladder, continue to take each other very seriously. Both of them fighting over barbershop conversation. Like the inception of meta sports controversies, but that's not where I want to start today. Stugotz is right now, and I'm telling you right now, I apologize in advance. We are taking tomorrow off because we can't get Stugotz's attention tomorrow. We shouldn't be working today because we will not have his attention today. Stugotz is into the Masters. Stugotz is just staring at his computer screen. Mike has been, it's been like a romantic lingerie and candles night. Mike has been like, can I get this on any of the televisions for you? Like there has been a very, we are aiming to please Stugotz on one of the happiest days of his life, and he is not going to be with us during the Masters. He's going to be inundating us with ridiculous conversations like this one about Dustin Johnson that he was just having with the shipping container during the break.
And I'm glad the guys got excited about this conversation because I am telling you, Dustin Johnson with a hat looks fantastic. Takes the hat off, not so good. And I am convinced Paulina Gretzky married the man who wears the hat, not the man who doesn't wear the hat. And listen, a hat can do wonders for a lot of people. I'm not certain a hat is doing more for Dustin Johnson than for any other person in sports.
That's a good question.
I'm telling you right now.
Who's the hat doing the most for? That's a good question because it used to be Tom Landry. It used to be Bear Bryant.
Yeah.
Back in the day when our sports figures would wear a nice hat. Old-timey days. Back in my day.
Yeah.
When the leaders were real men and had something between their legs.
Now, I brought this up, okay, and Chris said, no, this is a thing. This hat thing is a thing. That's what Fat Chris said to me. Like, listen, Tiger Woods is another guy. Looks much better in a hat than he does without a hat.
The hat makes you look younger is what it is. Tiger absolutely looks younger with a hat. He takes off his hat. He's balding. He's mortal. He's 42 years old.
Plus, these golfers have this thing where the tan line on their eyes, they take the hat off their foreheads. Whew.
Have you seen Rory?
Yeah, it's terrible.
His face is two-toned.
Yeah, it's and Jordan Spieth as well. I mean, it's just awful. But Billy made a great point that he thinks that when Paulina brought Dustin over to meet Wayne, her dad, Wayne Gretzky, the great one, that what Wayne got was the Dustin without the hat. Because the Dustin with the hat is the partying Dustin Johnson. That's the bad Dustin Johnson, the evil Dustin Johnson.
That's the one Paulina married.
Yes, but that's not the one Wayne can know.
That's the one that's
the one that slips before the Masters, and you're like, sure. Yeah, you wore socks on stairs. Sure.
Not just wearing a hat.
I love this idea that you just brought up. I love it. The idea that Dustin Johnson, before meeting Wayne Gretzky, the great one, had to be in his closet thinking to himself, baseball cap or no baseball cap? I'm going to meet the great one. There aren't many fathers in the world that I can meet who are going to be better at what they do than I am at what I do. But the great one is the father.
There are honestly like 5 in the world.
I know. That's correct. Yes. I mean, nobody, you realize that
this is the best golfer in the world right now. He was the overwhelming favorite to win the Masters a year ago.
I want to explain something to you. I know that LeBron tried to give himself the chosen one. Wayne Gretzky got the Great One. We have not done that with anybody else. It's a terrible nickname, but we all understand it's a great nickname because of how great he was. The Great One.
Yes. Well, the Great Gretzky.
Right, the Great One.
Yes.
And now that Ali's dead, he might be the only father in the world with a daughter that no matter who walks into the room, even if it's Tiger Woods, whoever walks into the living room, that person is going to be lesser at what they do than Paulina's father is at what he did. And so now you go in, and what's the choice that you would make? Because absolutely his daughter married the bad boy, the guy with the drugs, the guy with the baseball.
I don't think Dustin had a choice. I think Paulina said, listen, no hat. She made the choice. Listen, I don't want my dad to know the guy that wears the hat. You show up to meet my dad, no hat.
I think Stugotz is right about this.
There's a whole history about how we got to the Great One because a lot of nicknames for Gretzky were attempted, but none of them stuck. The first one was the White Tornado.
Wow.
Maybe if they just stuck with it a little bit longer, history would look back on it and say, man, the White Tornado.
I want to go through rejected names here. I could do this for the rest of the show. Guillermo, please put it on the poll at Batard Show. Would Gretzky have been better if he had been the White Tornado? If his nickname had been the White Tornado, would he have been better? Because that might be better than the Great One.
Right, so they tried out Gretz, and then they tried out the Great Gretzky, because I heard Stugotz say it. I'm like, is that actually a thing? But no, they tried to get that off the ground, and then they just realized, you know what, let's just go with the Great One. Yeah. They probably should have went with the White Tornado, let's be honest.
Maybe.
Again, though, you're Dustin Johnson. You're in your closet trying to decide, or wherever it is you keep your hats. You're trying to decide what you... And how many fathers like this are there in the world? And he says to himself, it's right in the nickname. The Great One. There's one. There's one, and it's right in his nickname.
I want you to look, and plus he shaved the beard.
You're so right about this.
Look at Dustin Johnson. I'm going to show you a picture right now.
Yes.
This is Dustin
Totally
Johnson without the hat,
That guy doesn't do anything in Vegas. That guy might not drink. That guy might be a youth pastor. That guy does a lot of community service.
That guy flies coach.
That guy, flies coach and is real polite when you get in the line with him. He'll also help ladies with their baggage.
Now here's the Dustin Johnson that Paulina does not want Dad to meet with the hat with the beard.
Yeah, cocaine rails off a stripper's butt. I'm just saying he looks like that. I'm not saying he actually did it, although, not a lot of golfers have his particular resume when it comes to public indiscretion.
Well, Tiger, man.
Wow. Do you realize they're not married? DJ and Paulina? They've just been engaged forever.
He must have wore the hat.
Planning that wedding, man.
Did he wear the hat? Call Gretzky, Allison. I want to talk to the Great One about all of this.
I do too.
We've talked to him about it before. We've talked about some of it, but now we've got more specific questions. You speak of how people look different without some of the accompaniments. Did you see what happened with Brian Wilson and the Giants?
No.
Brian Wilson, the reliever who was famous for having a giant beard before James Harden did and was loopy and crazy, showed up to be honored with the Giants. And because he didn't have the beard, most people didn't even know who the hell he was walking around.
Well, get out of here.
No.
That is funny.
Like,
it is pretty jarring to see him without the beard.
He doesn't look, there's no.
Oh, wait, I have it here.
No, if you look at this, he was being honored and people didn't recognize him as he wandered around because he didn't look anything like the crazy loon with the hair and the histrionics. Tiger Woods tees off at 10:42 Eastern.
Oh. 33 minutes, man.
What the hell is Dominique shouting about on First Take? Oh, he's shouting at Will Kane. Keep an eye on Dominique here.
I'm keeping an eye on Tiger, though. Man, this is so difficult.
No,
for
Wayne,
me.
wait, hold on a second. Hold on. Dominique's getting mad.
Oh, Dominique, all right, I got to put it on because Dominique loves going up against Will Kane. And I'm not betraying any sort of confidence because I said it right to Will Kane's face. He loves going on First Take against Will Kane because he knows he can own him.
All right.
Me as a receiver, you would not in a debate. Unfortunately, that's the field we're
it's
playing
happening
on
right now. I'm getting these
Explain
dubs.
to me the rap on the Raptors for the last couple of years. Just tell me what it is. What's the rap on the what's the rap on the Raptors?
The rap on the Raptors is that they can't get past the Cavs in the East.
No, it's that they fold when it matters. They're a great regular season team. They beat up worse opponents. They play good against mediocre opponents. They sometimes even play good against good opponents. But when you face a great opponent, what happens to the Raptors?
They fold.
And I have years of that now. I have years to tell you after watching it. After playoff,
Will's running this up here.
Playoff exit.
One less dub.
Regular season.
Dominique is not getting W's right now.
Dominique actually said what Will said. He said they can't get over the Cavs, and Will's like, no, they can't get over a great team. But there's only been one great team in the East.
Now you're arguing with Will.
Because when the pressure comes
fade it down so I can hear Dominique arguing with Will.
Puts him to the test, a.k.a. LeBron.
Oh, you can't fade it down while Will's talking. Yeah. Is he still talking?
I got a question. Why the hell are we honoring Brian Wilson? What did he ever do? That guy had 3 years. I mean, Antonio Alfonseca came in and had a couple of good years as a closer for the Marlins. We don't honor him. Why are we honoring Brian Wilson? And if you're going to honor Brian Wilson, a terrible job by Wilson, you got to show up with a beard. I don't care. You got to show up exactly the way you looked when you were closing games for the Giants back in the day. Yeah, dude, disappointing the fans. But larger question, why are we honoring him? He doesn't deserve it.
Antonio Alfonseca, for those of you who do not know, had 6 fingers on each hand.
You walked out here to debate me. You shot your eyes at the ground.
Man, Dominique was getting loud. These guys have a rapport. They don't wait for each other.
I want you to think about this. Imagine Alfonseca shows up. They're honoring him. The Marlins are, and he shows up with 5 fingers. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive's Home Insurance. Get your quote at Progressive.com today. Here's your SportsCenter update. Von Miller is being investigated for catching a hammerhead shark off the coast of Miami, potentially killing it.
Wait a minute. Of course, that's what Von Miller is doing in Miami. And then he went to the club smelling like shark death.
He got in trouble for that? I saw that on his Instagram. And I was like, is that legal?
Hold on. We got to go back to this. Really? How did it take us this long to get to this story? Wait, Von Miller killed a shark in Miami, and he's being investigated.
It's so funny. He's been in Miami for 2 months.
Yeah.
Hey, let's be clear. Potentially killing a shark.
I wonder what he's been doing in Miami.
The Rockies have signed Charlie Blackmon to a contract extension that could top out at $116 million. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Allison, get Von Miller to come through here smelling like dead shark. If he's here in Miami, have him come over on whatever flume he's been riding for the last 2 months, killing sharks and doing God knows what.
He's got bigger fish to fry.
Dan Le Batard.
One of the things that's going to lose me every time is if instead of laughing, you're someone who simply says you're funny.
Stugotz.
What age was that where you sort of realized I'm a little too old for the carousing?
About 6 months ago.
Nice. That's funny.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So, not surprisingly, because Stugotz loves the Masters so much and is immersed today in the rare event that happens as we're on air, Tiger Woods tees off, 4-time Masters champion, 10:42 Eastern. Stugotz is staring at his screen longingly. I can't even explain to you. He looks like a combination of post-coital and high. And he's just really happy, radiant. But in the middle of it, he spit at the leaderboard for some reason. Who were you spitting at?
Vijay Singh. I mean, listen, here's the deal with the Masters every single year. You'll have a veteran, an old timer, and they'll always be hanging around for the first couple of rounds. Eventually, they kind of fall off on moving day, which is Saturday, maybe the final round. Fred Couples might stick around till Sunday, boom, boom. But Vijay Singh, do me a favor. Get off my leaderboard, okay? Enjoy whatever lead you have for, the next couple of minutes because the big boys are about to tee off. And by big boys, I mean Tiger, I mean Dustin, I mean Spieth, I mean Jason Day, Justin Thomas, and then you got Mickelson in the afternoon. So, Vijay, enjoy a little cup of coffee atop the leaderboard. You won't be there long. Get off my leaderboard. I don't like when these old guys just start, poking around my majors. I don't like it.
Aren't they a nice story? Isn't the greatest story in the history of golf Jack Nicklaus doing that and then winning one at 46?
At 46 is fine. I'm talking guys who are north of 50. I don't want them around. I want them around until Saturday and then get off my leaderboard, unless it's Freddie Couples. Freddie could stay on my leaderboard as long as Freddie wants to stay there. As long as he wants.
What kind of asterisk is that?
It's the Freddie Couples asterisk. That's what it is. It's boom, boom. If Freddie, because, listen, here's the deal with Freddie. He won one major. He won a green jacket. He won at Augusta. But because of the back issues, a lot of people feel like we never got to see Fred Couples at his absolute best, okay? And because of that, he left a lot of majors on the table. He did. And people feel badly about that because they know how talented Fred Couples is. Plus, he's a very popular player. And people wouldn't mind to see Freddie Couples. I'm telling you, in a field that has Tiger and Phil and all these guys, golf fans would be very happy if the guy that Jim Nantz is putting the green jacket on Sunday at Butler Cabin is Freddie Couples.
Mike, can I explain something to you? Because
I love this thing.
This is how I realize you.
I love it more than anything.
I know, and this is how I realized it. Did you guys see the amount of sausage finger waving that was going on with every point being made, and how angry he got about the idea of Vijay Singh, get off my leaderboard? They've been playing for 4 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's 4 minutes too long that Vijay's been atop the leaderboard. Someone take him out. Let's go.
Why wouldn't you get behind that? That's an awesome story.
Because there's too many other great stories to get behind, and Vijay Singh is not one of them.
Oh, so he's getting in the way of Tiger. So that's where this is different than, because in 2012 you were all about Tom Watson in the British Open.
And I'd be about Tom Watson again if he were there.
He gets the Freddie Couples asterisk?
Yeah. No, he does. But guys like, maybe Tom Kite, I don't want him hanging around. It just depends on whether I like you or not.
Okay. All right. Well, at least that's honest.
Yeah, like Ben Crenshaw, you want to stick around till Sunday, feel free. I'm here for that.
Look, let's do this, okay? I am here for this conversation because it's Masters Week at Le Batard Show, and we are a sports show. Do you like Vijay Singh? Put it on the poll. I think it's important that we answer this question, and I think that Vijay Singh has spent his career being boring, droning, and, by extension, unlikable. And it's not his fault. He's excellent at golf. He's just not interesting. He's Vijay Singh. Vijay Singh is a name that I associate with not sports excellence, but you made a lot of money, and I know your name, but I can't remember anything you did.
What a major.
I know, I understand, but you understand what I'm saying.
Number one golfer in the world.
I know, but I don't know why I do that to Vijay Singh. I don't know.
I don't know why I'm doing it either. Mark O'Meara is sitting there just one shot back. He's the same age, and if O'Meara wants to stick around till Sunday, feel free.
Well, wait a minute. That's a different thing.
What am I doing?
Well, Fred Couples and Mark O'Meara and Tom Watson seem to have some similarities that Vijay Singh does.
I covered my bases with Tom Kite.
Did you?
How about that?
Did you cover your bases with Tom Kite?
Tom Kite? What do you mean? Of course. Tom Kite.
Hey, Vijay's peaking at the right time. He just won his first tournament in nearly 10 years, Toshiba. He won the Toshiba Classic.
Way to go, Vijay. Seriously. So the question shouldn't be just, do you like Vijay Singh? This is the actual question, and this is the greatest indictment of Vijay Singh that you can make across sports. Does Vijay Singh make you feel a single thing? That's the better question. That's the better question. Does the existence of Vijay Singh in sports make you feel anything?
Did you say you covered your base with Tom Kite? How so?
This is what I don't understand. I don't think he's covering the same bases I'm asking him to cover. Tom Kite is American.
Just so you know, the base that you're covering is a white base.
No. What I'm doing is Tom Kite is another guy. Like, he will not evoke a single emotion from anyone. No one cares if Tom Kite plays in the Masters, doesn't play in the Masters. No one cares.
I thought you grandfathered Tom Kite in. I didn't realize that Tom Kite.
Tom Kite, get off my leaderboard.
Okay. So the Freddie. Can you tell me who the Freddie Couples asterisk extends to?
Greg Norman, but I don't think he's playing in this tournament, but he would certainly be a guy. He was in contention, I think, at the British Open a couple of years ago. I was fine with that.
Can you give me just the list?
Yeah.
Fred Couples asterisk.
Ben Crenshaw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Keep going.
There's not too many more, to be honest with you, guys who were, Tom Watson, I guess I'd be okay. But even Watson, I'm kind of torn on. I like him. I don't love him. I don't want to see him with a green coat on Sunday. I do not. Colin Montgomery, old Collie, and Monty, and
I don't realize what you're doing.
The fans call him Monty. Very good friends of him call him Collie. Only I know that.
Do you not realize what you're doing here?
What am I doing?
Once we reached Colin Montgomery,
Lee Elder.
Don Le Batard.
Bill Belichick has told his players that despite the blizzard that's expected in the New England area, the Patriots will hold its final practices during its playoff bye week. No excuses for being late. Moron.
Stugotz.
Don't do that.
Sorry. No excuses for being late. I'm sorry.
If he needs it, you got to give it to him. He's helping Bill.
He is displaying behavior, that of a moron. That's all I'm saying. Save it. We're good. You kick save it if you.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
I need some help with some things, right? Because we've got Michael Collins. We're looking for him. I am told that he is a fun, entertaining personality in golf that ESPN uses sporadically for golf coverage. And so we're trying to reach him, but I feel like we've got the best thing that we could have for golf coverage, which is this loon over here. He's crazy. He's crazy today. He's thinking about Colin Montgomery and Tom Watson. He woke up having dreams of Ben Crenshaw. He just told me during the break, waving sausage fingers at me, the worst thing that could happen in this tournament, Dan, is Vijay Singh wins it. He just pointed a finger at me. It was weird. It's just a weird. It's not even that Vijay Singh lands with you benignly. You have now developed a fervent hatred for Vijay Singh out of nowhere.
It just developed this morning. Boring champion. Put it on the poll. Go ahead. Is the worst possible outcome for this year's Master with the limitless possibilities that we have.
All right,
is it Vijay Singh?
All right, put it on the poll because I'm with Stugotz on this one. I don't want Vijay Singh to win either. Get out. But I've been tired of these old guys at the top of the leaderboard. I'll tell you why. On PTI, they make me talk about these old guys on Thursdays and Fridays on PTI because it's the big story because Wilbon and Kornheiser love golf. And what happens is when Tiger's out, what do I end up doing? The first day on some guy who has no chance of winning but is a sentimental, nostalgic favorite.
VJ works for the Boring Company. I mean, if Musk was hiring someone from sports to be in charge of the Boring Company, it would be Vijay Singh.
He's 66 years old. That's an amazing story. He won the Masters in 2000.
Okay, so he can enjoy the leaderboard for today. He could be right up there for the next couple of hours. He's not going to be. He'll be off it in a couple of minutes. But I'm telling you, come Saturday, Sunday, moving day, final round, get off my leaderboard.
I don't get this at all. It's the weirdest golf team.
Get out of here.
The only time I've ever been into golf without Tiger was when Tom Watson made an incredible run at the British Open because how old he was.
Mike, do you realize how many times Stugotz has waved that left hand with his wedding ring on it, waved those sausage fingers of dismissal at everybody? Everything you say, nobody knows anything. Leave Stugotz alone. He knows all when it comes to golf. No other opinions matter. Why do we need Michael Collins?
Perhaps we should wait till he goes beyond the fourth hole, too.
I mean, listen, Ian Woosnam, this is what I'm telling you, okay, Woozy? I mean, he was -1, just like VJ. He was atop the leaderboard there for a minute. Cup of coffee, top the leaderboard, okay? And now Woozy +2. Eventually, the course gets the older guys. That's what it does. I mean, it's Augusta.
Okay, so you see Tiger has not teed off. He does so at 10:42. God knows what's going to happen then. Stugotz has lost his mind. Like he's drooling. He's careening all over the place. Yeah. There's Masters coverage coming his way.
4 minutes, 30 seconds. El Tigre. Oh. This is exciting, Dan. Hey, hasn't teed off for a major healthy in such a long time. This is amazing.
We are 5 minutes from Tiger Woods teeing off. Mike, can we go live? Can we go live to that coverage? Is that something that we can do live, or the Masters has all sorts of rules around killing their squirrels?
You cannot do any. The Masters is a tradition unlike any other.
Right. Yep. Certainly is.
All right. Well, I'm happy.
If Vijay Singh gets in the way of my tradition, I mean, forget it. I'm going to lose my mind. Serious. Get off the leaderboard.
You've mentioned that about
but now
6 or 7 times.
Oh, it's coming. Here it is. I'm watching live right now. He's about to bogey. Yes.
Did he bogey?
Not yet.
What's happening? What do you mean? How do you know? You're watching the Masters on your computer?
I'm not. Listen, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay, no, you're
Every year I do this with you. I apologize.
You don't do the show. And the problem is that we've got some people here writing in saying Mark Ingram, there was an attack from a police dog. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I'd like to tie it to the shark story with Von Miller if it is true, because I don't know what happened, if anything, with Mark Ingram and a police dog. These are the dangers of doing the show in real time. People send you stuff. You have to do live stuff on air without being able to quite verify it. So help me out. Is there anything with Mark Ingram and a police dog?
Yeah, he wore one of those protective suits, and he ran from a military dog. The military dog took him down easily.
Yeah. Whipped him. Well, is this story true that I read today on the internet? Alleged by Mike Tyson that he once tried to pay a zookeeper. What Ron McGill, the zookeeper in Miami, has told us that Shaq has made a bunch of ridiculous requests. Like he wants to bring a tiger to his house and stuff. And so there are absurd requests that get made all the time across fame and celebrity. And Mike Tyson is alleged to have offered a zookeeper one time either $10,000 or $20,000 to fight a male gorilla. I want to know if this story is true. That he wanted to, I don't know whether it's urban myth. I don't know whether, the stories about Mike Tyson are crazy, Stugotz. Like Mike Tyson, you can make the argument, is the most clinically brain chemistry altered athlete in the history of greatness, where there's no telling what his moods will be when he sits down with Bernard Goldberg on HBO Real Sports and is crying and talking about the death of his child. He tells Goldberg to please leave, that the interview must not continue, that something bad is going to happen if the interview continues.
Even over the years on our show, we have gotten completely different Mike Tysons from one interview to the next.
Is that story for real?
According to Complex, it is, that he offered a zoo attendant $10,000 to let him fight a gorilla.
Man. There were all sorts of crazy stories with Mike Tyson, fighting Mitch Green outside a haberdashery. It was amazing. Like Mitch Green jumped off a car and landed on Tyson again. I will utter that sentence again. Mitch Green flying off a car. And I think it was 4 a.m. The heavyweight champ. It might have been Harlem. I'm not sure. I think it was somewhere in New York.
It was, and oddly, Walter Berry was there. He was the player of the year in college basketball for St. John's.
Wait a minute. Can you give me some of the details on this story involving Mike Tyson? I have some partial details. I have haberdashery. It's the only time I've ever used the word. It's the only time I've ever thought of a haberdasher. What do they have in that city that Mitch Green and who was it? Who did you just say was?
Walter Berry.
Walter Berry and Mike Tyson were there at 4:00 in the morning. A fight broke out in which Mitch Green jumped off a car to fight Mike Tyson. Mike, do you have that story from Fat Joe involving Mike Tyson? Because what kind of weird existence is this? Fat Joe on Highly Questionable told the story of a fight that Mike Tyson got in the middle of between Fat Joe's crew and another crew, like the night he got out of prison or a day after he got out of prison. And so I guess that story must be true. What would have happened? Mike Tyson would have died if the zookeeper had said, okay, somehow. Well, I don't know where you would find a zookeeper anywhere. Oh, Tiger's about to tee off. Stugotz.
I'm watching.
Do you want to call it live? Do you want to call it live?
I mean, it's...
Can we do that, or are there
no,
copyright
you have
rules?
To wait maybe,
you really
I think,
can't. Yeah, there are rules,
6 hours before
what
you
are the
can
rules?
call it.
Really?
No, Dan, the rules are, like, I'm not even really supposed to, like, I'll give people updates, but I'm not, I gotta tread lightly.
All right, so I can't even say that he's teeing off right now?
No, you can say he's teeing off.
No.
Just don't say Tiger.
You can say that he's teeing off right now 6 hours from now.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Just say TW.
Wait a minute. What? You don't know the rules?
I'm just telling you.
All right, listen. Something is about to happen now.
Oh, my God.
On our television, I can't tell you what it is because of copyright rules and because we suspect that the Masters, if it has squirrels, will kill you, so we don't know what their rules are. Like, they will kill squirrels.
You also can't say dilly dilly. You get thrown out.
All right, here it goes. Here, what goes? I don't even know what it is. What is this?
Hold on.
Something is happening.
Oh, something happened.
Something happened. Something happened. Oh, his face. The face doesn't look great. Oh, no. Oh, something bad happened.
Very bad.
That's the worst thing to happen with a golf club since his wife used it on his car.
Catch more of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz, 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPNU.
Next. You're holding up the line, ma'am.
What did you say?
You're next in line for the water slide, ma'am. Feet forward and enjoy the ride.
Okay, dearie. This does look fun. You melted me. I've melted.
The Wicked Witch of the West on a water slide? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
See what you've done. Oh!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Every week during the baseball season, ESPN's premier baseball insider joins Dan and Stugotz to drop some hardball knowledge and take your calls.
Honey got me swishing like a dreadlock. She don't wrestle, but I got her in a headlock. Yabba dabba doo, make her bedrock.
Yeah! Here is Dan Le Batard, Stugotz, and Tim Kirchen on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. Tim Kirchin going to join us in just a second here on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. Shohei Ohtani. See this, Dan? Hit another.
Another one?
Hit a home run his second straight game. So he now has 2 homers, a single. He has a win. I think he has 8 Ks. He pitches again on Sunday. The guy's going to save baseball, man. The Hornets and Mitch Kupchak are inching closer to a deal to make him their new GM. He's going to fix it. And finally, if you have a higher IQ, you're likely to have more dreams. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Right now on First Take, should the Browns take Barkley? That's the question on First Take, presented by Bass Pro Shops.
All right.
And you have been breaking Browns news the last couple of days around here in our offices every day that seems to contradict this question on First Take, brought to you by Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah.
Should the Browns take Barkley with the first pick? Your reporting here that doesn't extend anywhere beyond the shipping container and reading the internet wrong has different reports than that.
Yeah, Josh Rosen is getting a tour of the Browns building today. Just a day after, Sam Darnold got a tour, and I believe the day before that, it was Baker Mayfield. I mean, they are handing out tours at the Browns facility left and right. I'm telling you, I still think they're going to take 2 quarterbacks. They're not going to take Barkley. I think they take a quarterback at 4 and a quarterback at 1 and hope that one of those 2 guys turns out to be great.
Let's talk baseball here. My call screener thing isn't working. Let's talk baseball with Tim Kirchin. 786-456-4837 is the telephone number. We could talk baseball, or you could just ask him general questions. He's a very polite man. He's very friendly. He's decent, and he will take your calls. And he's got manners and your life dilemmas. He will fix those as well. Corey, you're on ESPN Radio with Tim Kirchin. 786-456-4837 is the telephone number. Corey, go ahead.
Hey, Tim. How can Shohei Ohtani change the world of baseball?
Well, he's already doing it. We've never seen anybody do this, even on a very small sample, since Babe Ruth in 1919. This guy, he is the most fascinating player in the game today. You cannot take your eyes off him when he pitches, and then a couple days later, he's in the lineup as a DH. I just hope we all understand what we're watching here, because this hasn't been done since the greatest player of all time did this well over almost 100 years ago.
Been pretty cool to see, Tim. Tim, I'm a Mets fan. Matt Harvey as your 4th starter, to me, is certainly better than Matt Harvey as your ace. So I ask you this. If Syndergaard stays healthy, if DeGrom stays healthy, and if Matt Harvey can give you 25 starts, can the Mets, take out the Nationals in the NL East?
No, but they can make the playoffs. If those 3 guys are healthy and Steven Matz is better than he was in his first start, and they hit like I think they will hit now that Michael Conforto's back, that could be a playoff team in the National League, and that is saying something, because there are some really good teams in the National League, division winners and wild card teams.
Dylan, you're on with Tim Kirchin. Go ahead, Dylan.
Hi, Tim. I read a stat the other day that says left-handed hitters are hitting just 197 when they hit a ground ball these days. And with the proliferation of shifts, I was wondering if this is going to change at any point in the near future. Thanks a lot.
I don't think anything's going to change in the near future. I think our hitters are all into one thing, and that is launch angle. Let's change the angle of the bat. Let's get the ball in the air. Let's hit it over the shift. Let's hit it over the fence. The days of hitting a hard ground ball through a shift or a hole somewhere, for the most part, those days are over for most of our hitters.
Tim, can you identify when that change happened? Because rare is the evolution. We've seen it in basketball here with the three-point line. Rare is the evolution that happens in real time right before someone like Tim Kirchin's eyes. When did that happen where hitters stopped looking to make contact and get lucky on home runs, which is what they said for a long time, and now it's never mind, all home runs, I'm not trying to hit anything through a hole?
To me, it's the mid-'80s, Dan. Bo Jackson, Rob Deere, Jim Presley, Pete Incaviglia, Corey Snyder all came to the big leagues at roughly the same time. They all had tremendous power. They all struck out 150 times, and suddenly it was okay to K. I've told you this before. we had basically 6,100 strikeout batters from 1900 to 1960 combined. We averaged 100 strikeout guy per year, and now 150 guys strike out 100 times. And to me, I think it can be traced to the mid-'80s. Those guys hit it deep. People got interested, and suddenly we had an era of hitters who are swinging as hard as they can on every pitch, because if they crease one, it is not coming back.
Stugotz, what were you arguing about with Billy earlier this week off air, where you guys were yelling at each other about a shift and a bunt, and was it a no-hitter? Was it not a no-hitter?
I forget Tim will know the story. Maybe Billy could fill in the blanks, but there was two teams. I think the Twins were involved, and there was a no-hitter going on in the ninth inning, and there was a shift, and a bunt was put down in a 7-0 game.
All right, that's not it at all. I'm sorry I interrupted your Masters watching. Guillermo, what happened that you and Stugotz were arguing about?
So it was the Twins, and I think it was the Orioles, and there was a hit in the third inning that may or may not have been a double. They were reviewing it, and they were up 7-0, the Twins, and then the catcher for the Orioles bunted against the shift and got a hit on it, and then the Twins were really upset about it.
Kirkshin, break it down.
Okay, ninth inning, down 7 runs. Jose Barrios on the mound. He cannot be.
I asked you. It's only the second time we've gotten it right.
That's the third time I'm hearing the same story.
Go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So chances go down in a shutout, 7-0 in the ninth. Another exaggerated shift. He looks at it and says, "I can't hit this guy. He's too good." So we're down 7. So I'm going to bunt for a hit, because they're shifting like this in the ninth inning of a 7-0 game. So he dropped a bunt. Sorry. I have no problem with that. I understand with the unwritten rules how the Twins did have a problem with that, but I think the shift changes everything. And if you're going to shift like that in the ninth, and you have a backup catcher who's not got much of a chance, and he drops a bunt, I don't want to hear any complaining about that.
Have you had one time where you have slipped in talking about it in the last few years, given the proliferation of the word shift, on the word shift? Is there one time that has stumbled out of your mouth because you're using it you're wielding it like a sword, and even Vin Scully on this stuff. Vin Scully, even the great Vin Scully. I'm just wondering, have you ever made a mistake with the word shift?
No, I have not made a mistake.
Yes. Are you feeling reckless? Had you not thought about it before? Be careful, please, with that word. Well, shift is the word.
I'm wondering, when you know the word is coming up, when you know you have to say it, do you get nervous a couple of words before?
I don't think he's thought about it before now. Let's interrupt Tim Kirkshin for a moment to just have Vin Scully tell us how hard it is sometimes to say words that aren't bad words, and sometimes they come out as bad words.
Back about my third year, about 1952, the Dodgers were playing Cincinnati, and Cincinnati had an outfielder named Lloyd Merriman. I'll never forget it. And Lloyd hit a ball foul, and my mind told me to say, hot shot hit foul.
No,
and it never came out that way. And everybody in the booth fell down, and I was absolutely mortified. And the reason I remember Lloyd Merriman, I started filling. He's a former Marine Air Corps pilot, saw combat in Korea. I did on and on. That really, that had to be, considering how young I was, that was about it.
Tim, what is your most embarrassing televised moment? Have we asked you this before?
Well, televised moment, I think it might have been last year. Well, I had a terrible one at the beginning when I first started. I forgot the name of the Tampa Bay Rays when they were an expansion team, so I had to talk about the Arizona Diamondbacks, give it a little report, and then I had to talk about the Tampa Bay Rays, and I swear to you, I got to the Rays. This is my first year on TV, and I couldn't remember their name. And I stood in front of that camera for at least 3.5 seconds, realizing my career is over here because I've frozen like a fudgicle here on national TV, and I can't think of the name of the Tampa Bay Rays.
You know more about baseball than anyone in the globe the globe. You couldn't remember the name of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Right. So the 3.5 seconds, anyone this has happened to on TV knows, It felt like 3.5 minutes, and I said, okay, that's it. My career is over on television before it even started. And my producer never even said a word. We just moved on to the next topic, and that was it. So either it wasn't that bad or he felt sorry for me, but either way, it was really bad.
We will continue with Tim Kurkjian in a moment. But do you know what Dave Gettleman looks like, Tim? Do you know what he physically looks like?
It doesn't matter. Okay. It's just the writing of these things.
Okay. All right. Well,
no, I don't even know who he is.
All right. Okay, good. Does Trey Wingo look like he's been 52 years old his entire life? Does Mike Budenholzer look like a butcher at a human slaughterhouse in an Eastern European country? So Hostel. He's one of the butchers in Hostel. Yeah.
It looks like one. Perfect name, too.
Does Charlie Blackmon look like Anchorage, Alaska? Does John Lovitz look like the referee running from the goal line to completely guess where the punt went out of bounds? John Lovitz sneak in here. These are supposed to be sports figures, not celebrities doing sports things. That's a totally different game, although we can do that too.
No, it's fantastic, but you can see Lovitz with the pants pulled up really high to his stomach running out there.
Does Hunter...
the 21-yard line. No, this is the 28. No.
What is that? It's his limited fake John Lovitz.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, do you have any more in your arsenal on limited fake John? No, okay. Hunter Pence, does he look like an 18th century sailor who survived a shipwreck and finally returned home only to find that his beloved wife had remarried a lesser man?
This show ain't free. Time for some ads.
Can't give away too much, but something else happened to Tiger.
All right, we'll tell you what we can within the Masters' oppressive rules in a second. But we're going to do another segment here with Tim Kurkjian.
And now, back to the Tim Kurkjian Show.
2 + 2, I'm going to undress you. 3 and 3, you're going to undress me. 4 and 4, we're going to freak some more.
Here is Dan Le Batard, Stugotz, and Tim Kurkjian on ESPN Radio.
So, Tim Kurkjian, does Jay Wright look like an executive at your job who offers you a glass of scotch in his office at 10 a.m. and when you decline saying that you don't drink in the morning, he chuckles, winks at you, and says, "Neither do I," as he proceeds to pour you both a large glass of scotch? Does Brad Stevens look like he is in charge of the smack schedule for your kids' soccer team? The snack schedule, excuse me.
That's a fine.
That is. I don't have my glasses on. Now, Tim Kurkjian is on with us.
That'd be odd, a smack schedule.
That's right. I blew that one. That's my fault. But I'm rattled. I'm rattled because over the course of the last couple of weeks, it's been weird. This Jim Brockmire, this drug-addicted drinking, debaucherous, old-timey baseball announcer has been just sort of hovering around the show, bothering us, drinking a lot, doing God knows what. So he now wants in to talk to Tim Kurkjian about something. I don't know whether it's Matt Harvey or he wanted to talk to Tim Kurkjian about something. So let's let him in here. IFC, April 25th, Jim Brockmire returns. What do you got for us, Brockmire?
Well, gee, thank you for that lovely intro, Dan Le Batard. I mean, my goodness, it's you think I'm calling you from jail or something, which I do happen to be calling you from jail, but that's another. No, I wanted to call in because, hiya, Timmy. How are you, Timbo?
Good, Jim. Good talking to you again. We did the game together last Sunday. It was great fun.
That's why I'm calling in. The Met game there, I sat in for an inning. I had a wonderful time. Since then, Matt Harvey threw a wonderful game. Were you surprised by that? Were you surprised by Harvey going 5 innings, showing a one-hit ball there?
What are you doing?
I wasn't, Jim. He had a good spring. He still got good stuff. Wasn't surprised.
What are you surprised?
I was.
Why?
What do you mean?
Well, I have a little advice from Matt Harvey that I want to share with you fellas. Because, if you remember, last year he got in a bit of trouble for missing a game. Maybe because he was hungover, maybe not. But the thing is, Matt Harvey, you got to show up to work. That's the bare minimum for any professional adult drinker. For example, when we called
when we called that game on Sunday, Timberly and I, Tim Kirchin, he came in just oozing of cinnamon schnapps out of every pore of his body.
I believe that. What are you laughing about, Kirchin? It was unprofessional.
Because we went out the night before, Saturday night, and Tim Taru.
Hold on a second.
He likes
hold on.
Why? The man's on a roll.
How many nicknames does he have for Kirchin? Go ahead.
Do not stop.
We'll get to that in a second.
Will we?
But snap into a Tim there. He likes his drink sweet enough. He likes them sweet enough for a sorority pledge at a first college party. So, I'm sure he had a rough morning, but the man did his job, Matt Harvey. And sure, he made the booth smell like the bar mat of Senor Franz, but we all had a very good time.
Yeah, Senor Frog's a great reference. So hold on a second. As you interrupt the Tim Kirchin segment, how many nicknames do you? Did you catch those all? Tim Taru. What was that? How many nicknames do you have for Tim Kirchin?
No, I got a lot. Kimberly is one of my favorites, but I know your friend Roy there likes to do lists. As you know, I'm a fan of the show. I put together my own top 10 Tim Kirchin nickname list. Can I run it by you?
Yes, let's do this one at a time. Do you need any production? Like each one will come with big Hollywood production, fanfare. All right, you ready?
All right, however you normally do it. Sure.
All right, this is Jim Brockmeyer's top 10 nicknames for cinnamon schnapps scented Tim Kirchin. Number 10, Jim Brockmeyer.
Number 10, we're going to start you off easy with Timbuktu.
Number 9, nicknames for Tim Kirchin according to old-timey Jim Brockmeyer.
Sweet Temptation.
I love you, man.
Number 8.
Number 8, Timber.
Yes, of course. Excellent. Yes.
Timber, yes.
No, you need to pick one at the end of this, Kirchin. 7.
Fine imported wine.
That is awful. 6, Jim Brockmeyer.
At number 6, we have the Timpeachment process.
What does that mean? I don't even know what we're doing anymore. Number 5, please.
Number 5, Tim Basinger.
Yes! That doesn't even make any sense. Right there. Did you sleep with her in the 80s? Number 4.
If you thought that one didn't make any sense, number 4 is Timto through the tulips.
Number 3. It doesn't even make any sense. Number 3.
He's drinking.
Number 3 is Temple University.
How are they getting increasingly terrible? Number 2, please.
Number 2, the female Timpersonator.
What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. This is Brockmeyer desecrating Easter on our 1 o'clock Disney broadcast and now doing this. Number 1, Jim Brockmeyer. Can't be trusted. Thawed out from the 80s. What do we have?
At number 1, we have Timbalina, tiny little thing.
I don't have any idea what that means.
Kirchin, you going with Timber, or what are you doing?
Which one you going with? Which one do you like best there, Kirchin? Pick one.
They were all terrible.
Yeah, all of them?
I'm going to go with Timber because it was the most appropriate, but it doesn't mean anything. I didn't understand one of those.
That's right.
Thank you,
all right. That's why
Tim Basinger, man.
Come on. You guys are grown men. You get the reference. The female Timpersonator.
Don't do that again. You're doing that again, Azariah. I'm sorry, Brockmeyer. It's the thing that you did at 1 p.m. ruining Easter for everybody. Get out of here. You drunk. Get out of here.
All right. I love you guys. I see that the war... That my jailer's making me hang up the phone anyway. I gotta go.
That is Straight Talk. It is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G
Why is he in jail?
Dan Le Batard.
Limited fake Tim Kirchin. What do the Royals have to do to make the playoffs?
Stugotz.
Dan, the Royals are really good.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Watching the Masters. For every fan watching at home, a moment comes. How will I get my wife out of this damn house? With that moment, Weekends are made. The house is mine. Peanut M&Ms are devoured. Tequila is consumed. Showers are foregone. And the beautiful sounds of silence are presented. Some say it can't be done. But this week, I'll prove that it's possible. To spend 3 straight days on my couch, texting plugged-in people in the industry who are at best acquaintances that I might be able to harass into letting me play Augusta next year. All while watching the Masters. And by the Masters, I mean just Tiger. April 5th and 6th at 3 Eastern on ESPN. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. It's wall-to-wall coverage of the Masters all week across the ESPN family of networks, and I can't wait for it. It's going on right now. Check out the live first-round action from Augusta today, second-round action tomorrow, plus SportsCenter at the Masters, and more. ESPN has you covered. Here's your SportsCenter update. Sorry, Dan.
My fault.
No, I took a really long pause there because something happening to Tiger. Here's your SportsCenter update. Shohei Ohtani has hit a home run in his second consecutive game. He's going to the Hall of Fame. The Hornets and Mitch Kupchak are inching closer to a deal to make him their new general manager. And finally, having already successfully resurrected Will and Grace, NBC is eyeing its next TV reboot. The Office, this is exciting, and The West Wing have been mentioned as 2 possible candidates.
Oh, stunning. Roseanne does that, and everyone's a copycat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And NBC Entertainment Chairman Bob Greenblatt didn't dismiss either possibility.
A thing just happened at the Masters.
Listen,
a thing happened.
I'm just going to say there's a fist, and it was pumped.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you have. That's all the information. That's all we can say. That's all we can say.
And in defense of NBC, they started this whole thing with Will and Grace. Roseanne came after. Not a fine, though.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate your generosity
and
your leniency on this matter.
You know, I don't know how I feel about West Wing. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I don't want to reboot. I don't want a reboot of that show was perfect. Do not do it again.
We've been having this conversation for 10 years, and I'm wrong, okay? Because I keep saying that Hollywood has run out of ideas, and it's not that Hollywood has run out of ideas. It's that Hollywood knows what you like, and you want the old stuff, and you want it the way that you used to get it, and that's why Roseanne got 18 million viewers, 18 years after all of those people were relevant.
Anyway, for all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Does Dave Gettleman look like the guy who drinks an indiscriminate amount of pills straight from the bottle in the middle of a lunch meeting without comment?
Oh, my God.
I've taken a meeting with that guy.
Whoa.
One of my favorite movie things is the guy who uses the prescription little bottle and just throws things into his mouth.
Straight from the bottle?
Right, to give off recklessness, just guzzle it down like a pelican, throw the pills in your mouth. You are a cliche. You are meant to, the audience needs to know this person is reckless. Nobody actually eats pills that way, without water.
Or that sometimes they chew them and you're like, whoa, that guy's bad.
Oh, his life
technically they're drinking the pills. You're right. Like they're drinking them straight out of the bottle and then they just burst outside and they're ready to tackle the world.
Everyone is reading all of the fine print on those things, but not in the movies.
No.
These people are so reckless that they just throw a bunch of pills in their mouth and chew them.
Just guzzle them.
Someone who chews pills without the aid of water, it's just about the most intimidating thing that you can do in front of somebody. I could have that guy or Ndamukong Suh, and I'll take my chances with Sue.
There's no way Mick Cronin, the head coach of the University of Cincinnati basketball team, there's no way he uses water with his medication.
Okay, let's go ahead and do this. I'm happy to do this show in the middle of the Masters. That's fine. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show, please. More intimidating, Ndamukong Suh or guy who chews pills without liquid. Go ahead and put that on the poll.
Mick Cronin.
Yes. Well, who in sports is the one most likely to chew? Because I got Brock Lesnar. I think it's funny that UFC is welcoming him back again. Like, how many drugs does that guy is eating? Steroid pills. Like, isn't it? He eats it during the testing. Like, that guy is eating, like, how? I don't think I'm even doing anything reckless here. Brock Lesnar, look at him. Like, just look at him.
Are you saying, because this would be unprecedented, that while getting a steroid test, he is taking steroids?
That's right. I believe that Guillermo put on the poll, while taking a steroid test, does Brock Lesnar take steroids? Yes or no?
Look like. Make sure we're protected there. Yeah. Throwing in an
No,
allegedly.
not look like. Sure. No, don't put any allegedly. Just look at him. No allegedly. No reportedly. He's got the failed drug tests on the resume.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you, man.
What's funny about Dana White's announcement yesterday was that he can't exactly tell you when Brock Lesnar's coming back because of those failed tests.
All right, more desperate, Guillermo. Jimmy Fallon getting Cardi B to co-host with him, or Dana White reaching out again to Brock Lesnar? Like, go get John Jones out of jail. Brock Lesnar again? How many drug tests does he have to fail before people realize that you, Dana White, are a desperado running the wild, wild west of sports?
No. It's been a rough time, though, for Dana, man. He lost Bones. He lost Lesnar. He lost Conor McGregor. What do you want him to do? He needs a fighter. He doesn't have anybody.
And by the way, that announcement, even though he's going to UFC, Vince McMahon's fingerprints all over it. Yeah. You know why, right? I don't have to explain it to you guys. I'll explain it to maybe like the 2% of the audience that doesn't get what's happening. So Brock Lesnar is main eventing WrestleMania on Sunday, and Vince McMahon has been trying for several years to get Roman Reigns cheered, but the fans won't have it because he's shoving him down our throat. So what is Vince McMahon going to do? He's going to learn from history. WrestleMania 20, when Bill Goldberg and Brock Lesnar were on their way out of the company, both guys got booed. But in this instance, only Brock's leaving. So of course the fans are going to cheer the guy that actually respects him and won't be leaving them high and dry like Brock Lesnar. We're going to see through it. They're both getting booed, Vince. This Roman thing ain't going to happen.
Oh, and when's your flight?
My flight's tomorrow morning, 8:10. Wow. 8:10. I'm so excited because New Orleans is the best WrestleMania I've ever been to, because all the people that are there for that event converge upon Bourbon Street because there's only one place to go. So everyone's dressed up. You see all the wrestlers. Everyone's getting recklessly drunk because that's what New Orleans does. It's the best one.
All right. Mike's excited. He's going to WrestleMania. Stugotz is excited. He's watching something happening right now live.
It's happening.
At the Masters that we can't talk about. We can't talk about it.
Things are happening.
Okay, but we can't give play-by-play. Can we say where Tiger Woods is on the leaderboard on the fourth hole of the first day?
You can say that.
All right.
6 hours from now.
Oh, I can't say that now?
No,
yeah, it's LT Gray.
Okay, hold on. Never mind about Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is irrelevant.
What do you mean?
Hold on, something's happening. Hold on. All right. Tiger Woods, just don't mention his name anymore.
Okay.
Oh boy, things are happening. He looks
someone's face
confident.
Be careful. That's play-by-play. Ooh. Sounds are okay. Ooh.
We'll see. We'll see.
Where are the places on the course you don't want to land? This is not play-by-play. Just where are the places? Describe them.
Woods. Mm-hmm. Woods. Anywhere near Jim Nance. And, things that maybe Canota Beach.
Okay, so maybe connoting the beach is what just
that could be two things.
Maybe have just what been.
That could be
happened.
2 things.
If he was at the beach, he'd be having a great day. How about that?
You want more of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz? Tune in starting at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPNU. Dan Le Batard.
That's ridiculous. Idiot. I know it was a terrible Barkley impersonation.
Never heard it before. It was just
a Suey nominee.
Stugotz.
Really bad.
You guys want to try all your Barkleys?
Oh, that's a terrible idea.
That's pretty good. That's better. Anyone else want to get in on the bidding?
Ernie, Dan Le Batard is an idiot. It's terrible.
Yeah, pretty good. I don't want to go after that.
Yeah, Kitty. Let me tell you something, Kitty. That Dan Le Batard is an idiot.
Thank you, Roy.
You're welcome, Dan.
Tell your fat daddy I hate him.
Oh! Fat Chris making an appearance. Fat Chris once again a surprise.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So we talked to him yesterday. The show wants to get younger. We want to skew younger. Young people are where popular things are.
So this hour, it is Mean Gene Okerlund and Rick Springfield.
That's correct. That is what we are doing to change the demographics of the sports radio game.
And your favorite color.
Yes, that's right. Mean Gene Okerlund, who is approaching 80. And Rick Springfield. What? I'm sorry. I don't mean to...
Hey.
Yeah.
Please.
What happened?
Mean Gene.
Mean.
Stugotz, Batard, guys, get the birth date right. 75.
Okay.
Yeah. And a young 75 at that, Gene.
Yes, young and vibrant and still on it, a Hall of Famer in every respect. Mean Gene Okerlund, the greatest there ever was in terms of wrestling announcers, is with us on ESPN Radio as part of our WrestleMania coverage in the middle of the Masters. Is there one thing above all else? I know we talked storylines with you yesterday in terms of promoting WrestleMania. Is there one thing above all else that Mean Gene, as a savvy veteran Hall of Fame wrestling announcer, it's a storyline that still gets him fired up?
Well, of course, whenever the McMahons get involved in any of these storylines on either Raw or SmackDown, there seems to be a lot of turmoil there, but of course, they can pull the strings. So they, in effect, are kind of writing their own script, if you will. Not to say that professional wrestling is scripted, because to the best of my knowledge, it's not.
That's correct. And the best of your knowledge is the best of all knowledge. And so, of course, we know that this to be true because your Hall of Famer Mean Gene Okerlund in wrestling is not scripted. But have you ever had a real personal bad private moment with Vince McMahon where he's like furious with you, the Hall of Famer Mean Gene Okerlund, about something?
Never. I saw him back in the very early stages of the WWF, back in the early 80s when he didn't take things real easy. I mean, earphones were going through mirrors and such, but for the most part, he's under control. And if he dresses somebody down, you would know it.
For the most part,
he can handle himself pretty good, both in and out of the ring, and certainly verbally.
Wait a minute. When you went to the WCW, there were no issues? He didn't have any issues with that?
Time for a change, boys. Please, give me a break.
Okay, whoa! He's pushing us off. But what, are you pushing us off the subject, or what happened? You want me to not talk?
Did that. I'm going to blow that one off. That was a money deal. And I think,
you're dismissed.
I had 8 great years with Ted Turner, and we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish.
Wait a minute.
And that's why I'm sitting over here in a nice little crib and very happy.
Yeah. All right, Hall of Famer.
With a bunch of old people washing our hands. Forget about the CDC.
Hall of Famer Mean Gene Okerlund with us on ESPN Radio. Can you take us through these negotiations? I know it's a sore subject, but you're sitting down, you're being wooed. I want to hear what that's like. What did that look like when Mean Gene Okerlund was being wooed for his greatness?
Well, I made after WCW, I made a very quick return to WWE and hosted a couple of shows like Confidential. We are now up to 525 episodes of WWE Vintage. So, guys, I'm not just sitting on my rear collecting a check. I'm working for it. And the negotiations are not tough. It's a public company. Everything is wide open.
I understand, Mean Gene, but I'm asking you about, did you say Ted Turner wooed you? Is that what you just said?
Ted Turner wooed me?
Yeah.
Ted Turner probably didn't even know who the hell I was, but, it was part of the package. And in the mid-'90s, we brought aboard all of the strong ones from WWE, including Hogan, Savage, Kurt Angle, a guy I loved, Mr. Perfect, and tons of other talent. And the NWO all of a sudden popped up, and so did some ratings. For 86 consecutive weeks, WCW outdrew WWF and Raw.
How many weeks? How many in a row?
86.
That's right. Yeah. 86. Count them!
Get your calculator out.
Count them! Mean Gene took the ratings with him.
The tragic passing of luscious Johnny Valiant. He was from Pittsburgh, and he got hit by a pickup in the early hours of Wednesday, and subsequently died at a local hospital. But there was a talent. I loved interviewing that guy because he was all over the map.
Gene, what a dark turn this interview took. We were having fun with you, and what did you just do in the middle of our interview?
Well, we've got to count
the missing in our number. There are quite a few, by the way. But that's true in all sports.
All right, let me bring back the fun.
Wait a minute, you got mad. No, wait, you got mad because I said you were close to 80, and now you're talking about people dying all over the place.
Well, you don't have to bust my back on that one.
Good save, Gene.
You guys are going to get there sooner or later.
Yep. No, we feel like we are now.
Hopefully, you're going to get there sooner or later.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Gene, let me get back to fun real quick. Best story of you and Ric Flair drinking.
Oh.
That would be at the Palm in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the Nature Boy was a very uninhibited guy. And all of a sudden, after a couple of martinis, he was up on the bar dancing. It would be kind of like not a lap dance, but kind of a pole dance. That might be it.
All right. A striptease.
And at the end of the night, best story yet, there he was with a pair of wingtips and a pair of stretch compress knee-high socks. And that was it.
Where was he, though? Like, what?
Still on the bar dancing.
The Palm.
The Palms in Charlotte?
In Charlotte, yeah.
That's all?
That's it.
He was just standing in front of you.
Well, I think he was a little preoccupied with some of the clientele in there at that time.
Okay,
Great
wow.
steakhouse.
All right, wait a minute.
That didn't make any difference. He wanted a little prelude to his meal.
Hold on.
And that was his dancing exhibition.
Hold on. Mean Gene, did you describe on ESPN Radio for Disney right now a orgy involving Ric Flair and in the Palms?
I never said that. You guys had 30 for 30 on your air. And everything was said, I don't know about 10,000 women. Let's outdo Wilt the Silt or whoever.
Are you familiar with Ric Flair's reputation for calling his package Space Mountain?
I mean, he used it readily during many interviews that I conducted with him. It was the longest line at the fair.
What is the most uncomfortable moment that he's so great? You're going to come on with us Monday to recap WrestleMania, right?
Every day.
Yeah, every day for the rest of time. What is the most uncomfortable moment Mean Gene Okerlund has had with a wrestling personality that was real and off the air?
That was real and off the air.
Yes, not something that was made for entertainment, where you just had a really bad moment with somebody who was unprofessional, or, I mean, I don't know what you define as unprofessional once Ric Flair is standing in front of you wearing only boots.
Well, if there's somebody who got their tongue down your throat, that's unprofessional.
Did anyone do that to you?
Well, I'm not saying they did, but I'm just saying that that's unprofessional.
That's a good point.
Okay, very good.
Because I'm hanging around with Moolah and Mae Young, and they're both in the dirt, and you've got me just about on the ground now, so I feel bad about that. But I will give you a full, detailed report of everything, and I mean everything that goes on this weekend in New Orleans.
Did you have a bad moment with Moolah, or did Moolah have a bad moment with you? What happened?
Well, it was that deal where they kind of cornered us in the furnace room there at one of the venues for WrestleMania. I was with the late, great Bobby Heenan, and we somehow got cornered in there, and it just looked real bad. Coach came out, Jonathan Coachman, former ESPN guy, but it happened to run across us just as we were kind of straightening up and trying to get out of it.
Does anyone understand what Mean Gene is talking about?
No,
here?
but I got to tell you, Gene. Gene, listen. I know Dan said you're 80 and you're 75. I'm telling you, you are as sharp as ever, as funny as ever, and as quick as ever.
I know,
and we need to do more with you.
Not my question. My question was I didn't understand it.
No, I didn't understand.
All right, never mind. It doesn't matter. Mean Gene, we will check in with you on Monday. Stugotz just got rattled by the entire Jonathan Coachman mention.
You shouldn't get rattled by that. He's back in the fold, working Monday Night Raw for WWE. I'll see him this week.
I have very good reason to be rattled.
I'll send him your regards.
No, please don't do that. No, please do not. No, don't send our regards to Jonathan Coachman. He doesn't like our show because we had a bad moment here. Should I get Mean Gene? Oh, whatever. We're already in it. We'll get to Mean Gene Okerlund's reaction to Stugotz's, because we want to play this for you. We had a bad moment one time on the air because Stugotz didn't know something about Jonathan Coachman that he should have known. He was talking with his wife about how handsome Max Brados and Jonathan Coachman were, and then something happened on air in real time that was embarrassing to all of us, kind of controversial, but it was an innocent mistake. Stugotz, you should probably apologize here. We should apologize for what happened last segment. It went off the rails on us. What do you want to say?
I will apologize. You don't need to apologize for anything. I need to apologize. They are my weekend observations. I said what I said. I had no idea, and I apologize to Jonathan Coachman, who has tweeted at us, and he's upset and has every right to be upset. I honestly, and anyone who knows me will understand this and believe this, I honestly, until after the segment ended and we went to commercial break, had no idea that Jonathan Coachman was black.
That's it?
I mean, it's not bad enough. Like,
well, you see the guy on the tube, but I mean, I don't think
I'm with you. Let's get out of here. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah, get out of here, dude. Have a good weekend in New Orleans.
You understand why he was embarrassing to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could understand that.
And you understand now why, don't go up to him and say the guy said hello. Okay?
Don't keep
I'm going to, the first thing when I see him, I'm sending your regards.
No, keep the regards. You got to hold the regards. Please do not give any of the regards to Jonathan Coachman.
All right, guys. I'm heading to New Orleans.
All right, I'll see you on Monday.
Get a lawyer.
All right. We love
Get
you,
a lawyer, and I'll talk to you Monday.
Tell Coachman I love his Periscope show.
Oh, no.
What happened?
No.
What do you mean?
You can't apologize for that innocent mistake and then make fun of him because he's on Periscope.
I wasn't making fun of him.
The Black Tux knows how to make men everywhere look good.
He's on WWE now. He's off Periscope.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
It's calling WrestleMania.
Whoa, why are you guys taking that as a shot? I don't understand. A lot of people doing shows on Periscope.
Dan Le Batard. Woo, woo. Stugotz. Woo, woo. This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Rick Springfield is going to join us from the 1980s.
Yeah.
In about 10 minutes. Do we have a poll question regarding Rick Springfield, Guillermo? Young people listening to the show, are you eager? We are eager. Me, Mike, and Stugotz are eager to hear from Rick Springfield. Chris and Roy are not. I don't know how Guillermo feels. He seems to be brown biased, reggaeton, daddy Yankee. I don't know how much he cares about Rick Springfield.
Reggaeton, fine.
So we've got an epic sound of the day to get to. Do we have any Masters coverage to get to? Do you what do you want to tell the people? What are we allowed based on all the Masters rules to tell the people right now?
There are more American flags getting closer and closer to the top of the leaderboard. Some of the big guys still haven't teed off yet. Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson a little bit later on, tons of guys. But Vijay Singh is now down to -1. He was -3. Marco Mira, who's 58 years old, he's now plus 2 or 3. So some of the old guys getting out of the way for the young guys. That's really all I can tell you. Tiger's up to something. That's it.
Time now for Guillermo's epic sound of the day.
Time now for Guillermo's epic sound of the day. It is going to be epic.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Bill.
Are you guys ever really excited about something, but the people around you are not as excited about it?
Yeah, today, the Masters.
Well, today's epic sound, courtesy of KABC, has a mother who was very excited about an event. Her son was not as excited, so this happened.
Teenagers can be pretty lazy. They just want to kind of hang out with their friends.
But now a mom in Phoenix is in trouble with the law for the tactics she used to get her son to get up and go to church.
I said, get up, it's Jesus Day. I don't think I did anything wrong because you're supposed to put God first. And that's all I was trying to tell my kids, put God first. He was like, Mom, I'm calling the police. I said, you can call police, UPS, DPS, whoever you want to call.
Okay, so why did the son call police? And that's because apparently, according to police, Mom tased him.
That's the sound of the day is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Upgrade to shaving with a fresh blade whenever you want for a fraction of the price. Join DollarShaveClub.com today. Oh, wow.
Honeydew.
No. Nope. Unofficial.
Orange, yellow, purple, pink, blue, magenta, green.
Close to a fist bump for Tiger. Close, but not.
Which color will he choose? 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 Today.
Stugotz in the middle of all of that was wincing because something happened with Tiger Woods that was less than favorable.
Right. Close to a fist bump, not a fist bump.
So Rick Springfield's next. Why are you guys pointing at me? I already gave you what I already gave it to you.
No, we didn't hear anything.
I already gave it to you.
No, we didn't hear. What's the color?
It's Indian red.
Wow.
I had a regular red. Huh?
Yeah, it's amazing, huh? Yeah, you got something against reds, huh? I mean, it's weird. Aqua?
This show ain't free. Time for some ads.
Native American red, excuse me.
Oh, kick, save, and abuse.
Rick Springfield is going to join us. It's on this list, man. I can't help it. That's what it's called. Crayola calls it that. I'm going to call it that.
All right.
Get yourself the Capital One Venture Card, especially if you're a traveler looking to get away. I feel like Crayola should be allowed. Nah. Tell them about the advantages that you get with the Capital One Venture Card.
I will, Dan. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every single purchase every day.
Goldenrod is 18. Goldenrod. Goldenrod.
No.
Right before
18. Jacaranda was 18.
Oh, where are we? What number are we on?
17. You just gave 17.
Goldenrod.
What happened to Native American red?
That's the next one.
Oh.
Did I get my order mixed up?
Yeah, fines. Anyway, Rick Springfield next.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Rick Springfield with us here on ESPN Radio. Stugotz is excited because, yes, this is the glory days of music, and he was the most handsome in all of music.
Jesse's Girl, General Hospital.
Yes.
He's a huge star, General Hospital.
Huge.
I still watch that show, and I'm watching right now. I'm currently looking on my computer screen.
Yes.
The best of Rick Springfield album cover.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's beautiful, dreamy, totally dreamy. What is the one word that Rick Springfield would most like associated with his beauty? Like, is dreamy something that you want, Rick, or do you want something better than that?
Dreamy is cool, I guess. I don't know. That's not, what I focus on.
Oh, I know you're more than that, Rick. I know, Rick, your music, we're going to talk about all that. You're an artist, I know, but
it's what I focus on.
Also, though, you are beautiful and are beautiful. Remain beautiful. You remain beautiful.
I don't know. I get up in the morning and it doesn't look that good to me.
Rick Springfield with us on ESPN Radio. I had actually read that Jesse's Girl was not supposed to be Jesse's Girl. It was supposed to be Gary's Girl. I love the idea of that. Gary's Girl is a totally different song.
It's a totally different song, and it didn't work, so I changed it to Randy, and that didn't work either. So finally I came up with a name that worked, thank God.
But can I get a lyric from Gary's Girl? I mean, It's totally different. I know look, man, I don't mean to be a hack about this. Everyone comes up to you and says, hey, sing Jesse's Girl for me. I'm not asking for that. I'm looking for Gary's Girl.
Yeah, let's sing Gary's Girl.
The words are all the same. It's just the chorus was, instead of Jesse, was Gary, and it was like, no.
All right, so Rick, at the end of the interview, and we'll promote everything you're doing in Miami and everything going on in your life right now.
I'll do it right now, actually.
In fact, we'll do it right now, okay? Dan is right.
You can see Rick in Miami this Saturday, Magic City Casino. For tickets and upcoming tour dates, visit rickspringfield.com. It's this Saturday.
Can we just hear Jesse's Girl if it were Gary's Girl? Maybe just a couple of lines leading into the chorus?
You're being very pushy. He just pushed us off that.
I don't think he pushed us off. I think Rick, in fact, I'll sing it with you.
He was very obviously pushing us off it.
Rick?
I just woke up, but I don't have a voice.
Okay, so he's not doing it.
No.
I wish I had Gary's Girl.
Gary's Girl.
Oh, yeah! Thank you. Have you talked to Gary or Jesse since all of this? Or Jesse's not real, but Gary was real, right?
Yeah. I lost touch with them actually before the song came out, so I don't know if they even know that it's about them.
It's one of the great mysteries in pop culture history, is it not? You know the answer. No one else does. That has to have a value.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, Oprah tried to find her. Oprah went to because I met her at a stained glass class where I learning to make stained glass, thinking that would be a great way to support my future family. If the music didn't work out. And,
that was Plan B. Yes.
Yeah, that was Plan B, right? And she found the place. It was in Pasadena, and the guy had died like 2 years before, and they'd thrown all his paperwork out a year later. So she missed it by a year.
Missed her by a year. Oprah was trying to hunt it down. So wait a minute. I had no idea any of this was so. This has remained a mystery for all this time. Even Oprah and all her resources tried to investigate it, and there is no answer.
They got a dead end. So she's going to probably remain a mystery for forever, I think, unless someone, she's still alive, I'm sure. So someone may come up to me one day and go, I'm that girl, and I'd recognize her instantly if it was her.
Allison, find Gary's girl for Rick Springfield, please. Find Gary's girl. Get on it, because Oprah, were you scared when Oprah got close?
Oprah got close.
Oh, we got to find out more about this. Yeah, we really do.
Let's get Oprah on.
Now, your real name, is there anyone who actually calls you Richard Lewis Springthorpe? Because that's totally different from Rick Springfield.
Yeah, my family knows me as that, But most people, it's been Springfield since I was 15. I didn't change it. I joined this guy's band, and he said, "What's your name?" I said, "Rick Springthorpe." And he said, "No one will ever understand that, so you're Rick Springfield from now on." So I went, okay.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it works better.
It does work better. There's his wife was going to call him Howard. That's totally different, too. Imagine his mom was going to call him Howard. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's a fine.
That is a fine.
Yep.
Imagine that. Howie Lewis Springthorpe singing Gary's Girl. That's going nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere. I don't care how good your music is. You know that.
That's a stained glass maker.
It is totally a stained glass maker. Richard Lewis Springthorpe. He is going to be performing this Saturday, Magic City Casino. For tickets and upcoming tour dates, visit rickspringfield.com.
Tell us about meeting Elvis.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I wasn't a fan at the time, but I was flying back to Australia. I came over here in '72. And because I didn't have a green card or anything, I had to keep flying back and forward to renew my visa. And so one of the trips back to Australia was when planes didn't fly all the way through. They stopped off at Hawaii to refuel and then to Australia. So I walk on the plane, and Elvis sitting in I'm in the back of the bus, of course, back then, and he was in the first class section in the pale blue suit. He looked awesome. And at the end of the flight, before it started to land, he walked back, like signing autographs and saying hey to everybody. I've never seen any celebrity do that. Usually they hide under a hat and dark glasses, and he was great. He walked back saying hey to everyone, and I was actually at the time managed by a guy named Steve Binder who did the Elvis Comeback Special, directed the Elvis Comeback Special, and so I had a bit of a conversation with him about that. I said, Steve's my manager, and he goes, yeah, I love Steve, he's a great guy, and so I had him sign an autograph for my girlfriend at the time, and when I went through Australian Customs, they stole it.
Yes, of course. They stole it because they recognized it, or they just stole it because customs?
Yeah, probably, I'm sure.
You can see Rick in Miami this Saturday at Magic City Casino. For tickets and upcoming tour dates, visit rickspringfield.com. At the height of
not HowieSpringthorpe.com.
Not Howie. That's a totally different website. It's not nearly as cool.
That's a totally different website.
You can find Gary's girl.
It deals with accountancy.
Yes. I'm wondering.
I'm going to see what that website is.
during the height of, just gorging on American and international excess as Rick Springfield, was it all a happy time? Was it all happy and fun, or did you not enjoy it the way that maybe you wish you had?
No, it was great. It was, I thought it would kind of cure my depression, and it did for a while, and it was great because of that. It's a great distraction. But after a few years, realizing that nothing had really changed within me, that it was kind of what I call the lie of fame, that it doesn't really change anything inside you. And so I had to pull the plug and kind of go under and start going to therapy and learn how to deal with the depression. But it was great. I mean, it was, everything was wonderful. It was everything that I kind of imagined. And the only downside was, like, I thought everybody was in it for my benefit, and they weren't. They were in it for what they could get out of it. And so that kind of, I got dinged a couple of times through things like that.
And did you have a moment of any sort where you decided, okay, I need to go deal with this? Fame is this lie. I've got to go. Was there anything that sort of broke open that viewpoint for you?
Yeah, I wrote my autobiography called Late at Night, and I detail it pretty heavily in that. And that was the first realization of me that, depression was also has an upside. It's also where I create stuff from also. But I just moved to Malibu, and my first son was just born, and I was walking around this pool and, realizing that I was still in trouble, inside, and it was a particular day, and it was pretty life-shattering at the time. All the stuff that I thought would heal me hadn't healed me, and so that was why I pulled the plug.
What helped the most for you for dealing with your depression? What ultimately helped the most?
What helped?
I started I went to therapy for about 5 years, but that doesn't really heal it. That just kind of identifies the problem. But it does, you do learn the names of the demons that are kind of chasing you. But mainly it was just I meditate. I'm thankful for my family. I hung on to my family pretty tight. I try and find the joy where I can. Really, it's just it's a day-to-day kind of thing, and you never know, what something can pull you down, and you just got to deal with it.
I don't mean to press on this because you've been fun and you've tolerated our nonsense, and we've gone through some of the darker stuff. But what are the names of the demons? When you say that you have, you found a name in therapy for the demons, what are their names?
Well, what I mean by that is you recognize when something pulls you down. You go, okay, that's what pulled me down. It's not just, me being crazy. It's, something will happen and it'll trigger something and put me in a dark place, and I'll kind of but I recognize when that happens now. Before it was like, oh my God, what's happening to me? Why do I feel like this? Now I understand why I feel like this. And it doesn't help pull you out, but it does help you go, okay, that's why I'm here.
Listen, Dan is right, Rick. First off, it's a thrill to be talking to you, but Dan is right. You've been fun. You've tolerated our nonsense. You've dived into some of the serious stuff here. And, listen, I'm just going to come out and ask you, okay, because I don't want to do too much more with you.
You're going to do it? Try and get right there near his soul?
What's your favorite color?
Woo!
Yeah, turquoise.
Whoa! Wow! Shocking, quick answer. Wow! It's like he knew it was coming, that question. What do you mean, turquoise?
I've been asked it so many times, like jokingly, like you guys asked, but I sat down one day and said, I do have one. That sucks. That's so shallow. So I know it.
Yeah.
Turquoise?
Yeah.
I have my studio, the hallway into my studio painted in that color because it's a creative color. I just love it.
All right. Rick, we really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you for making your way through. Again, you can see Rick in Miami this Saturday at Magic City Casino. For tickets and upcoming tour dates, you visit rickspringfield.com.
I don't want to let this man go.
No, can you stay around? You want to just hang around?
I mean,
we should.
Well, I got a slew of general. Yes, you want to do a show with us, Rick?
You got a slew of General Hospital questions.
Listen, General Hospital is. Rick will tell you this, where he really crossed over because now Mom started to take notice of Rick Springfield, and I'm telling you, Rick, be honest, General Hospital, Jack Wagner, a little jealous that you were there, right?
Actually, we were there at different times. He came on after. I was only there for 18 months, and then I split to start touring and everything. But they said, I think they thought, because I was like the first one to but they didn't know I was a singer. I just was already had a record out and stuff like that. And they said, okay, this is kind of a new game plan for us. So they started pulling guys in who could sing and also act, and that's kind of where that whole Jack Wagner and Ricky Martin and all that kind of stuff came from.
Right. You amazed that they still have the same storylines on that show? Still.
There's only 5 storylines, as far as I know.
Still, it's an amazing formula. How many years?
I know, it's a great, and there's all the shows do the same thing. It's all the same storylines. They just pass them back and forward.
Again, we will let him go on this note. He's in Miami this Saturday at Magic City Casino. 4 tickets and upcoming tour dates. Visit rickspringfield.com. But we are going to now call you every day for 20 days to get your top 20 favorite colors. We will do that, and we will check in with you. Thank you, Rick Springfield, for being on with us.
You're very welcome, guys. Thanks a lot. It was a lot of fun.
You can listen to the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio, and you can watch on ESPNU.